has been inhabiting their genetics. But they'll still have to have a certain frequency before they can go to another planet. Most people on the planet currently, their frequency accretion of DNA strands and DNA regeneration is too low to be even transported by a spacecraft into another even density 1 safe planet, because that hyper jump in time is a great rip on the body, and they need to be able to regenerate their biology right here and now into a way that could enable transport and even to migrate off the planet in any way, because the planet cannot be saved. The mass of the planet, the matter base, is in a state of fall, and it's got quite a quantum harnessed by other frequency bands that are operating the hologram, and quite a percentage of the Earth cannot be harvested and saved, but it will go in what we call a sovereign fall. It will go into a sovereign fall. In other words, it will not submit to the black hole technology, but it'll go down into what we call a space dust return in perfect dignity and integrity. It'll come down, and there will be others on the other side of the diaphragm of consciousness, so to speak, that will remember the construct of the Earth, and she'll be brought back through in some form of integrity in a high dimensional frequency band, recreated through those who have a memory of the Earth, those parts of consciousness that are the guardians of the Earth and hold a memory of the Earth. But generally speaking, all of us here, the work we are to be doing here is to be diligent to renew the mind and to allow our own awareness to be upgraded, to be restored, to be rebuilt, reconstituted, reconstructed, regenerated, to be brought back into a recollection of the constituent parts of our anatomy and ascend up in consciousness. And the more we do that, the more that we are diligent to call upon the host, call upon the God host, and do the actual experiences, what we call techniques. There are various techniques of visualization, of sound tones that we make. I've said before, and actually someone was speaking in the room before, and I think it was Christos, said something about the words that we speak are very, very important, and they come from the thoughts that we think, because the words that we speak, they are tonal frequencies, and they actually open up constructs of mind, which you might call constellations of thought, which go into archives of particular energies of mind that represent something that would create a hologram or an effect. So if you're using a certain kind of language and you're speaking it, you're actually making commands to open up gateways of communication within the cosmic constructs, and you're bringing energies in to make changes within the hologram. So everyone's responsible for their own hologram and what they create in their life experiences. But it's going to take a deliberate determination to start changing, like Christos said, the purifying of yourself, the cleanliness of yourself, the cleaning away of the debris. All of those things within the constructs and the folds and the deep recesses of the mind and anatomy, all of those things that have been archived down there as records in time that emerge and corrupt your hologram. Constantly we are corrupting our beautiful hologram of the Christ life because of overlays of records and time that are attributed to ourselves. We've adhered to them, we've subscribed to them, we've brought them in through ignorance or through manipulation or through some other way. We've filed them down, even through desire. We've brought them into ourselves, and they've been sort of long forgotten and stored down there as an unconscious mind, but they're still functioning, even though we're not consciously aware of those things functioning. And so we're wondering why our hologram is constantly corrupted and things are happening in our lives that we don't particularly want. Here we are. We have the capacity to understand now that the technology is here, that we can actually reprogram ourselves or deprogram. We can take all the disinformation out of our computation and bring the full instantaneous quantum communication of the Christ mind back into the mainframe of our own computation as an extension and a radiation signature of our true intention and desire to create that which we truly want to experience. We can do that instantaneously once we know the techniques and the necessity to do it. I mean, many of us are just under this world program, and we're waiting for someone outside of us to change something. We're waiting for this government to change something. We're waiting for something else to happen. We're waiting, and we're wasting time, valuable time that can be used in the cleansing of our mind, in the deliberate intention of bringing a reconnection back into our original stations of consciousness that know everything about us and are connected fully into God's source, and is God's source, and is our mind, and is us. And so here we are suffering in ignorance of our way to heal ourselves, and all the time it's going to take is just the techniques to do the visualizations. We've been doing things like soul journeys, like journeying parts of our anatomy. If you were to take the 15-dimensional anatomy of our own being in full correspondence to the cosmic anatomy, and if you were to look at that and say, well, there are many, many layers to my body, internally and externally. The microcosm goes right down into the inner Eka God worlds of creation and creation point doorway, comes through the main frame of the construct of my hologram here as I see myself as the interface between this world and the inner kingdom. And then from here out to the outer realms, there's also layers and body forms of communication. So you've got an inner and an outer, and it all comes through your own awareness on many, many levels. And we do journeys, spiritual journeys, to take various parts of our anatomy. Even we create things like a little mini me, or a spark of consciousness of a certain density and elemental form that is a part of our mind. We become that, or we are that anyway, that we become it consciously and take a part of consciousness through certain doorways and gateways within the inner structure of the inner kingdom, and go to different space-time localities, because there are maps and keys and locks and frequencies to access all of these densities and alignments and precise alignments and exact locations. There are maps in consciousness that are available to us, and we're finding these out through Kathara healing, that we can take these journeys and we can journey safely just various parts of our consciousness with the intention of expanding that vision out until we can bring every part of our anatomy through, and we can eventually take our body through. So if we start moving various parts of our anatomy through on various journeys, guided journeys that are guided meditations, plus also you can create your own when you know the safety procedure, and you can take your whole body through. We're starting to learn how to do that now. And it's quite amazing actually when you realise that you can turn your entire body back down to a single point of light and disappear from this space-time continuum right here, this space-time density. And you can bring that point of light right out into another matrix and expand yourself back out. And you would have gathered the coordinates of that matrix. If it was another planet, you would have come through the morphogenetic field of that planet. You would have been encrypted by the base pulse frequency of that planet. You would have had the knowledge of that planet morphed into your own understanding, so that you would have your frequency coded to that planet. You would have relationships coded into you, and you would know everything about that planet because you already know everything in that planet as a part of your own consciousness. And so you can move through gateways of alignment and instantaneously travel into any dimension, space-time continuum, just through the knowledge of the God mind, which knows everything, and which is the mind you're starting to use. You're using that mind, and it knows everything. And so you can move yourself. And this is what we call the celestialine waveform collapse, where there is a transmutation of elements. The elements that we use here on the planet, some people say there's 104, some people say there's 116 or something, depending on different constructs of elements that are used through particle generators, etc. But we've learned that there's 144 elements, just as there are 144 elements of speech. So the elemental reconstitution brings back, like everything comes in as